We're going to diagram replication. So we'll start off with our parent strand, which is the double helix DNA, and then we will add in our helicase, which is, remember, we're going to say it's shaped like a triangle, and it is unzipping our DNA. So we will start by labeling our leading strand and our lagging strand. So we'll just make the top 5 prime. That means that the bottom is 3 prime. And then the ends of our DNA, that will make this 3 prime, and this will make this 5 prime. So now we can add in our DNA primase, who's going to come and help us get ready to start building, but they're going to prime. So we'll do little rectangles for DNA primase. And remember, DNA primase stays in the same location. So for our leading strand, which is at top because we have 5 prime to 3 prime, I'll label it for us, leading, and then lagging. And remember, which way is our pentagon sugars going? Because that's how we're getting the leading strand. For up top, they're facing this way towards that replication fork. And then at the bottom, they are facing away. My pentagons aren't very great, but that's okay. So now we'll add in our builder. So remember, our builder is going to slide along in our builder's DNA polymerase. So DNA polymerase is going to slide down. We'll be building in the 5 prime to 3 prime direction. So we're wanting to start where our 5 prime is, and then we'll end where our 3 prime is. And for the leading strand, we can always remember, for our leading strand, we're always going to be building it towards the replication fork. So just remember that. That's super easy to put in your brain, and it'll help everything else make sense. So we're building towards the replication fork on our leading strand. So we'll pretend that we've done all the building, and we'll slide our DNA polymerase down the screen. Okay, so DNA polymerase has built, still moving, because remember, we're still unzipping, right? So our helicase is still unzipping, but we can't really show that on this diagram. So we'll draw all of the nucleotides that we've just bonded to that original strand of DNA. It was super easy on this leading strand, and we'll label the ends. So we have a 5 prime end right here because we said we started building. This is where we're starting, right? Because we moved this way. So that's our start point, and we started at 5 prime. And then we're going to end at 3 prime. And they actually add up. So 5 prime, 3 prime, 5 prime, 3 prime. And for this strand, our pentagon sugars are going to be facing this way, right? So they're actually going to be opposites, which makes sense because that's how our usual DNA is. So we have our first strand of DNA at the top. Now we're going to build on our lagging strand. Remember, our lagging strand is a bit weird, right? So our DNA polymerase is going to come in. And if you remember, most of the time in this replication, we're doing opposites. So our DNA polymerase is going to be building in the opposite direction on this lagging strand. So it's actually, you can remember this. The lagging strand will be building in the opposite direction of that replication fork. So we've run into a problem. We're trying to build this way. We really can't. So what we have to do is we have to jump. So our primase will jump a little forward right here. And now we have a little room. So we'll put in a new DNA polymerase right here. And we'll say that the DNA polymerase has built along the strand. Oop, I erased that. So we'll say DNA polymerase moved along and it built some nucleotides. So now we have a little fragment here, and we'll label it. So we built from 5', right, to 3', and they match up, 5' to 3'. So we're always building 5' to 3'. And so now we'll do the same exact thing. We'll keep our jumping copy, paste. So we'll keep jumping, and then we'll do it again. Ooh, I don't want to enlarge it. And then this process will continue on as we're unzipping as well. So now we have another enzyme that's going to come in and help. And what is that enzyme? It is ligase. So ligase is going to come glue our strands together. So now what do we have? A new strand of DNA. So our lagging strand now is another strand. And so now we can do a few things to check. So do we have our 5' and 3' ends? It looks like we do. We have 5' and 3'. We can also check, is our strand to the right 5' and that's our left, and our strand to the right 3'. They do. We can also check if our two new strands are opposites. So 5', 3', they're opposites. Ooh, and then let's check the pentagons. So we said the bottom was going to be pentagons facing, ooh, that's a terrible pentagon, facing to the right. Okay, so we have 5' over here, so we're going to face towards the 5'. So now we have pentagons facing towards the left. So it looks like they all line up. So you'll probably need to